Good morning. This is Breakfast with Stephen and Ellie, live on your TV, on your radio and online. I'm smiling away because she allowed me to do the introduction this hour.
You should take it away, it was your chance.
She's very, very bossy. I love it though. I
just like to diffy, you know where we stand.
You do this, she says. Oh, I'll do this one. Fine, I don't mind. I don't mind. It's lovely though. You're a good team.
We are.
You bring the sunshine, which is what we like.
Thank you. OK, let's take a look at today's front pages on your Sunday. The Sunday Times leads with the call from senior MPs that the cosy culture of debauchery must be ended to save the reputation of Parliament.
The Sunday Telegraph focuses on the Porngate scandal as Neil Parish resigns as an MP. It also says the Conservative Party has pledged that half of its candidates at the next election will be women.
The Sunday Express leads with Putin's army of saboteurs target Britain. Sources tell the paper that MI5 have been tasked to increase the monitoring of people arriving in the UK.
The Independent reports that Whitehall insiders say the Treasury has withheld financial support and believe households can rely on their own savings to get over the cost of living crisis.
Oh, me again. A former star of Hello has told the Daily Star that French people have no sense of humour when it comes to the comedy show. Sue Hodge, who played Mimi LeBlanc, tells the paper the French just don't get the programme.
Well, I'm not surprised they don't, to be fair. Why would you? I wouldn't have thought so. I mean, honest to goodness. Mimi LeBlanc, love it. OK, let's go through some of those papers then with the author and broadcaster Nikki Hodgson and broadcaster Mike Parry. Good to see you both this morning. Nikki, let's start because we're a healthy bunch here. So let's talk about our 5 a day. How do we get our 5 a day in the Mail on Sunday?
Well, apparently it's not from a pina colada, as quite a lot of Brits actually think. So there's been a survey done about people's attitudes to cocktails, and some people actually think because there is pineapple in it that it counts as one of your 5 a day. Other cocktails people think are healthy are porn star martinis, which have lime in.
And very healthy lime.
Bloody Mary. Now that is a classic one. Have you ever been to a brunch with someone and say, "Oh, I'll have a Bloody Mary because that'll sort me out and it's good for me"? Well, actually, it's not. Sorry.
Well, the tomato juice element must be all right for you.
But it doesn't count as one of your 5 a day. No. The alcohol cancels it out. And importantly, 11% of people surveyed found out, believed that one glass of wine was, again, one of your 5 a day because wine comes from grapes. But sorry to tell you all, this bank holiday especially, drinking is not fruit.
This is very, very bad news. When you first said pina colada, I thought you said Pinot Grigio.
Oh, is that your favourite?
On doctor's orders, I drink 2 bottles of that a day.
Who's your doctor, mate? We need to get them to say everybody else.
No, that would be very unhealthy. I hope you're sticking to your limits.
Also, I do.
I'll tell you what, I mean, honestly, the limit, because I've talked to a lot of these doctors. When George Best went into hospital,
14 units a week and all.
14 units a week, and I was talking to these sort of specialists on the show, and they say it is really important that you stick to the limit.
Yeah.
But we've got into such a culture now. They thought, how would you stick that 7 pints in a week?
It's unbelievable.
And most people, you do that in a night.
And do you know what? I honestly believe it's the individual metabolism of one person which allows them to drink safely or unsafely. I have worked with people in our career who literally drink 24 hours a day and have done for 30 years and still go for blood tests and find there's nothing wrong with their liver. I just can't believe it, honestly.
So I think they're in the minority at this stage. I mean, I drink, but shouldn't. Probably should just give it up. That's what I think about all the time.
Yeah, that wouldn't be much fun, would it, eh?
Well, I don't know. My husband's sober at the minute. He was a bar owner, sold his business, and then has stopped drinking because he's had enough of it.
Right.
And so if he can do it, anyone can.
I mean, once you get over the hump of not having a drink, I'd never go back to it now.
Really?
No.
Never go back to it. And I used to love a scotch.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I could live life without it. And I'm not an alcoholic or anything, but I'll have a couple of pints, after work some days and finish at 5 or 6 o'clock, glass of wine with dinner, and it makes me just feel better. And I would like to go without it,
There's a lot to be said for it. It does just take the edge off.
Yeah.
After a long, hard week, Well, the question is, Anne Diamond, did she get...
Oh, yes. Well, she's on the banana daiquiri.
Was she She's definitely got one of her 5 a day there, hasn't she?
Healthy. She's having a healthy weekend.
If she's found bananas, she hadn't packed them yesterday, had she? That was the, that was
She
the
packed
issue.
everything else.
Yeah, everything but the fruit. Mike, I need to ask you about Boris Becker. I was at his sentencing on Friday.
Were you? Southwark Crown Court?
Southwark Crown Court. He did look like a broken man.
He looked like a broken man, but the problem is the judge said he had no remorse.
No.
And that's one of the reasons why he got a harsh sentence, 2 years and 6 months.
Exactly.
But I have to say, I remember Boris Beckham winning Wimbledon the first time. People don't know, before he won Wimbledon, he won Queen's that year, OK?
Did he?
Yes, the grass tournament, which is the warm-up. And I put money on Boris Becker to win Wimbledon on the base. I thought, this guy's brilliant. I mean...
Must have made a few quid then, because he was unseeded, wasn't he?
He was unseeded.
He was?
Yeah, I think it was about 50 to 1, actually. I think you're absolutely right. Now, you know, people talk about Boris, 3 times Wimbledon champion. He also played in another 4 Wimbledon finals. He lost. He played in 7 Wimbledon finals. He's also a gold medal winner. He won the Olympic gold medal in 1992. The man's an astonishing tennis machine. But... bit like the other Boris, people say, well, Boris Johnson gets the big things right but can't deal with the minutiae. That's Boris Becker all over. He deals with the big things, which is tennis, wins tournaments, smashes the world, and then can't run his finances to save his life. Yeah. You know, completely collapsed. He was paying, for instance, $22,500 a month for 10 years for a house in Wimbledon he could have bought for half the money he paid out in rent in all those years. Anyway, the point of this story, sorry to go over it, Nikki, is that he's gone to Wandsworth, which is said to be one of the very worst prisons in this country. There's mice in there and cockroaches and all that. He'll spend 2 weeks there before he goes to a Category C jail. But if you were a prisoner in prison and Boris Johnson was your sorry, somebody else made that mistake last night, didn't they?
Easily done.
Yeah. And Boris Becker was your cellmate. I mean, you'd be in awe of him, wouldn't you? You'd have to be. He's such an incredible...
It's such a fall from grace, isn't it? It's desperately sad. And similar to what you were just saying there, the defence was saying that he was incredible tennis superstar, but he had trusted his advisors too much and had been advised wrongly for several years, and that's why they said he ended up in this.
Yeah, you've got to have a bit of common sense, haven't you? Surely.
Well, no. In the end, he was criminal. In the end, he hid his assets. Now, I mean, he was up to 50 million quid in debt, right? But then went and hid a few million quid, and that's not fair to the people you owe the money to, is it? So I think justice, you know, probably have to prevail in the end.
Yeah, I think so.
And a man that was once worth 38 million as well. It's just remarkable, isn't it? You can end up...
How do these people run up such huge debts? For instance, when...
Well, £22,000 rent.
I think it's going to last forever. That's the other thing. They think the money will last forever. But if you're a sports star, you've got a very limited time to make your wealth and invest it, live off the investment.
Pop stars as well.
Pop stars, exactly the same.
Everybody's had it. When Mike Tyson's career ended, it was £300 million in debt.
Yeah.
How do you get into that sort of huge debt? It's amazing, isn't it?
Lovely there. Talking about money, and it is about money. It's in the Sunday Mirror, Nikki, looking at cladding. It is about money, but it's about much more than money, the whole cladding story, isn't it?
Gosh, it's just ridiculous that this is running. So, we've talked for ages about cladding and who needs to pay for it on, you know, buildings that need to be redone, especially if they're leasehold. And so the government in January, Michael Gove announced that they would ask the property companies that needed to sort out the properties to pay for these improvements instead of letting leaseholders pay for themselves, because you know ordinary people getting bills for 10, 20, 30,000 pounds
and a lot more sometimes,
and lots more, and who has that kind of money just sitting around, and why should they pay it when it's the building company's fault? Well, this is the news that a building company called Lend-Lease is working on a huge 1.9 billion improvement project, but it hasn't signed up to the government's pledge on solving the cladding problems in other properties. So why is it that the government is giving this business to these kinds of companies when they haven't agreed to sort out the cladding?
No, it's a huge issue. This very huge. I've got a personal interest in this. I've got a property portfolio. Some of the properties I own have unfortunately been caught in the cladding crisis. Some big building companies are being very decent about it. Some have been pushed into doing things by Michael Gove. Michael Gove's our hero, believe me. He really has cracked the whip of these people, you know. But never mind all that. It's taking 3 or 4 years to resolve, and
at which point, apart from the safety issues, they're stuck in a place they might not want to be in.
Well, yes, but if you have a buy-to-let, for instance, it's worthless. once it's got cladding on it, and it's got a safety issue with the fire breaks, you can't ask anybody to go and live in there. You wouldn't get an insurance policy for it, apart from anything else, you know?
Yeah.
So it is a big problem for other people.
Yeah.
I'm lucky in that I've done all right in life, I'm middle-aged in life. But I've heard stories of very young people, started on the property ladder, foot in the first rung, who've suffered terribly from finding out that an apartment they bought for about £100,000 now needs a repair bill of £120,000. It is really tragic.
It's awful.
Yeah. Given the housing shortage, you know, we can't afford to have these kinds of problems.
No.
So it's just got to get sorted. Even if the government needs to reclaim the money back afterwards by hook or by crook.
Yes.
Someone who's not short of a bob or two is James Corden.
Yeah.
Mike, who he's walking away. One more series in the States. He's walking away, but he's going to coin the money in, come what may.
Well, this is a great story. I love James Corden. I think he's a fantastic entertainer. You know, I've seen him on stage, I've seen him on television. He's a writer, a dramatist, TV series, everything. And now he's coming back. But one of the reasons I really like him is his carpool karaoke. Now, I've been a Beatles fanatic all my life, and when Paul McCartney did it, I don't know if anybody saw it, did you? It was really fantastic. It ended with Paul McCartney on stage in his local boozer in Liverpool, unannounced, and the curtains came back, and people started running in down the street when they heard Paul McCartney was there, and James Corden was behind the bar serving the drinks. I mean,
really?
It was so moving, wasn't it? It was really touching.
It was absolutely fabulous. So the point of this story is that although James Corden's coming back from the Late Late Show that he does in America, it looks like he will still own the rights for carpool karaoke, and those rights could be worth up to £60 million if somebody else takes it on and wants to do it. So he's not only great at what he does, he's quite clever as well, isn't he?
See, that's the thing, isn't it?
And it is a viral sensation, isn't it? It gets millions of views on YouTube every time it happens. If you are watching at home, the Adele carpool karaoke, I think it's my favourite one ever.
Yeah.
And they're singing together. It's just fantastic. Highly recommend that one.
Not seen that. The only one I've ever seen, and I think he did it for Comic Relief or something, was the George Michael one.
Oh yeah.
And that was, I mean, that's got to be.
Stevie Wonder is really good as well. That's really, really fun.
Was that
Stevie Wonder did it.
Yeah. And Elton John, I think.
Very famous.
Great names he's got.
Everybody. In the end, the biggest stars in the world were knocking on his door trying to get into the passenger seat.
Isn't it funny? I always find James Corden a little bit irritating.
Really?
I knew you were going to say that. I knew
Do you know what it is? It's only because he's so good at everything.
Exactly.
And he's got everything. You know, he's a host, he's a writer, he's an actor, and he just sometimes think, oh, please, not another James Corden.
You've got to be bad at something, James.
But you do think, well, good on him. I mean, he's clearly a clever man. He clearly works very hard.
Oh, incredibly odd. Manchester United once used him as a motivator for their players.
Did they?
Because that's what he is. You know, he G's people up and gets them going and all that kind of
What
thing.
you're going to say is a goalie or something.
No, not as a goalie.
Does that as well.
Does that as well. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Good luck to him, like I say. Lend us a bob or two. Look, it's been really good to see you both this morning. Nikki, Mike, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
You have been our little ray of sunshine today, which is really nice. And you've made people laugh and smile.
Oh, excellent.
Which is good, because David says, good morning from Clacton.
Also in Essex, good.
Great to be part of your morning GB News family. Never thought I would laugh and smile so much watching a news channel. David, thank you. Thank you so much for your message and for watching or listening. And it's nice to have a smile, isn't it?
That is such a lovely email. I think that might be one of my favourite emails of the day.
Yeah,
it's a good one.
You know, it's all a bit depressing at times, but there's no reason why we can't have a smile on some of the stuff.
And it's a Sunday after all, isn't it?
And it is
a bank holiday. There's lots to be cheery about.
Neil's in Aylesbury, in Buckinghamshire, sitting on the sofa with a bowl of porridge and a large mug of black coffee. Porridge, I do like porridge with a bit of salt in. Weather is fine, hoping to get the washing out. GB News has become part of my daily diet. Good.
Oh, not with the porridge. No.
Porridge, that's the point. Porridge, you pile it full of stuff and sort of syrups and honeys and sugars. All that means just put a little bit of salt in. And very savoury. It's lovely.
I might need to try that.
I've never
tried salt in my porridge, but
yeah,
very nice.
Yeah, there you go.